My name is Emily Carter. I'm 17 years old, and 3 months ago, I was the most hated person in my entire school. People said I was selling myself for money. They said I tricked my own dying grandfather out of $345,000. They said I betrayed my best friend. None of it was true, but by the time the truth came out, I had already lost my boyfriend, my best friend, and almost lost myself. This is the story of how lies and money nearly destroyed my life. And I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. Because I want you to know something. Even when it feels like the whole world is against you, the truth knows how to wait for its moment. I grew up in Maple Creek, Ohio, a small town where everybody knows everybody, and news travels faster than you can post it. I wasn't the most popular girl in school, but people liked me. Teachers trusted me. I worked weekends at a coffee shop on Main Street and dreamed of studying journalism. I had a boyfriend, Jake Sutton, captain of the lacrosse team. And I had a best friend, Madison Cole, who'd known me since 5th grade. From the outside, my life looked almost perfect. But the real crack in that picture came from money, from my grandfather, and from a number that changed everything: $345,000. My grandfather, Walter Hayes, had been battling cancer for the last 2 years of his life. I was the only grandchild who visited him every single week, not because I expected anything, but because I loved him. I read to him out loud, brought him his favorite coffee, listened to his stories. A month before he died, he changed his will. He left Aunt Linda the house and most of his savings, and he left me, personally, a trust fund of $345,000 for my education. In his letter, he wrote, "Emily, you're the only one who came to see me out of love, not obligation. I want you to build the life you dream of, without debt and without fear." I cried reading that letter. I wasn't thinking about money. I was thinking about the man I'd just lost. But Aunt Linda was thinking about something else entirely. 2 weeks after the funeral, she filed a lawsuit claiming my grandfather was mentally unstable due to pain medication, and that I had taken advantage of his vulnerability for personal gain. None of it was true. But the truth rarely interests people when $345,000 is on the line. Aunt Linda's son Tyler went to my school, 1 year above me, and Tyler was close friends with Madison. They texted almost every day. That's exactly when an anonymous account appeared in our school group chat, Queen Bee_confessions. The first message: "Someone at this school isn't who she pretends to be." The second, a few days later: "Everyone thinks EC is such a good girl. She tricked her own dying grandfather into giving her almost $350,000. Ask her family about it." I remember standing in the hallway, watching conversations stop the moment I walked by. Someone whispered, "Gold digger," loud enough for half the class to hear. Nobody asked me what actually happened. Nobody asked what it meant. Sitting by his hospital bed every single Sunday. And the worst part was how the people closest to me reacted. Jake told me, I know you're not like that, but maybe you should lay low for a while, just until this blows over." He talked about it like it was the weather, not my entire life falling apart. Madison stopped answering my texts, started sitting with other girls at lunch. When I finally asked her straight out, she looked away and said, "I just don't know what to think anymore, Em. Everyone's saying the same thing." I couldn't understand how someone who'd known me for years could believe I was capable of manipulating a dying man. The only person who didn't turn away from me was Maya Nguyen, the new girl from Seattle. "I don't know all the details," she told me one day, sitting down at my empty lunch table, "but I know someone who reads to her sick grandfather every week isn't capable of what they're saying, and I don't care what people think if I sit here with you." Those were the first kind words I'd heard in 2 weeks. Then I got a private message from Queen Bee_confessions. "Give up the money voluntarily, or we'll make sure the court takes it from you anyway." That wasn't gossip anymore. That was a threat, one that knew way too much about the lawsuit. Details that should have stayed inside the family. I'd always dreamed of becoming a journalist. Maybe that's exactly why I decided to find out who was behind that account. Maya, who turned out to be surprisingly good with technology, helped me dig. We tracked the timing of the posts, the writing style, and the specific details about the lawsuit that appeared online almost the same day the paperwork landed on Aunt Linda's lawyer's desk. Details passed through Tyler to Madison. Then Maya found something decisive. A hidden metadata tag in one of the screenshots contained a device name, Tyler H_iPad. It wasn't direct proof of a crime, but it was enough to understand that Tyler was leaking confidential case details to Madison, and she was using them to destroy my reputation, to pressure me into giving up the inheritance without a fight. Madison's motive was more complicated. She wasn't getting any money, but she'd had a secret crush on Tyler for a long time, and helping him fix his family's problem felt like proving her loyalty to him. Jealousy, the need to feel needed, and someone else's money turned into a weapon. We handed everything over to my mum's lawyer, not to start a scandal, but to show the court that the bullying campaign was directly tied to a leak of confidential case material. And then something happened that decided the whole case. 2 months before he died, my grandfather, knowing the will might be challenged, had recorded a short video with his lawyer to confirm he was of sound mind. On the recording, he said clearly, "I'm leaving these funds to Emily, not because she asked. She never asked for a single cent. I'm doing this because I want at least one person in this family to stop being afraid of the future." When that video was shown in court, Aunt Linda's case fell apart. The judge dismissed the lawsuit. All $345,000 stayed in the trust fund, exactly the way my grandfather wanted. When the school administration learned about the connection between the lawsuit and the bullying, they called in Madison's and Tyler's parents. Tyler, already 18, was facing potential legal consequences for leaking confidential court documents. Madison was looking at counseling and community service. A few days later, Madison showed up at my door. She stood on the porch, shaking, and said, "I wasn't trying to hurt you for the money. I just wanted Tyler to notice me, and I didn't think about what it would put you through. I'm so ashamed, Em. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness." Painful, awkward, but completely honest. Aunt Linda came to talk to me too, about a month later. She didn't fully apologize, but she admitted that fear and an old resentment toward her own father had made her cling to the money instead of allowing herself to grieve. We didn't become a close-knit movie family, but we started talking again, without the war. Jake apologized for not defending me when it mattered. We broke up, kindly, no drama, because our relationship hadn't survived the one test that actually counted: loyalty in the moment it mattered. And Maya stayed, a real sister, in every way that counts. Today, I'm standing on a stage in the Maple Creek Auditorium, in a graduation gown, holding my diploma. My grandfather's money is going to pay for my journalism degree, exactly the way he wanted. My mom is in the audience, finally at peace. Next to her, Maya. And somewhere in that crowd, Daniel, a quiet guy from my journalism class who, a year ago, simply walked up to me in the library and said, "I don't believe a single word people are saying. Want some help with your chem homework?" No drama, just kindness, exactly when I needed it. I started a blog about cyberbullying and legal literacy for teenagers. It grew into a local initiative and got me a summer internship at the town paper. Standing on that stage, I realized something. They tried to break me with lies. They tried to take away money my grandfather left me out of love. But I didn't just survive. I came out stronger, more honest, and more certain of myself than I ever was before the world tried to tear me down. And if this story taught me anything, it's this: money can turn people into monsters, and lies travel faster than the truth. But the truth, if you're patient enough and brave enough, always finds its way out. If you were in my place, accused of something you never did, over money you never even wanted, except to finally live without fear, what would you have done? If this story moved you, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments.